iPodcast 2026, your getaway to innovation. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of iPodcast, the official podcast series of iChallenge 2026. I'm delighted to have you here as we kick off a brand new journey, one that brings you closer to the stories, ideas, and innovations behind one of the most anticipated students' competition of the year. In this inaugural episode, we're going to explore the heart of iChallenge itself, how it all begins, how it stands for, and why it continues to inspire students across Indonesia. We look into the meaning behind this year's brand theme, discuss the role students as agents of sustainable innovation, and uncover the vision that drives this event forward. Whether you're a returning participant, a first time listener, or someone still curious about joining the competition, this podcast is designed to give you an inside look into the spirit of iChallenge 2026 straight from the people who built and shaped it. Before we dive into today's discussions, how are you doing, Masasa? I hope everything's going well because we've been looking forward to having you as our very first guest.
I'm very doing well, Ardi. Thank you very much.
Okay. By the way, how does it feel to be here on the first episode of iPodcast 2026?
So for honestly, I'm really nervous because it's also my very first podcast and talking about with you, Ardi, in this session feel really amazing actually.
Okay. And honestly, we couldn't think of a better person to start this podcast with. For our listener who might not be familiar yet, could you introduce yourself a little, maybe?
Okay. Hello everyone. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I am Riko Saputra Asir and I am chemical engineering student and I am as project officer of iChallenge 2026. Very grateful to be here with you, RD. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for the warm introductions. It's always nice to start things by getting to know our guests be better before we go into deeper our conversations. And speaking of today's topic, we're going to explore the first very question. Maybe to start off, first question is: could you give us a comprehensive introduction to iTunes 2026?
Okay, thank you very much, RD. So before we talking about iChallenge 2026, let's we talk about iChallenge itself. So iChallenge is Indonesia Chemical Engineering event held since 2014, hosted by Chemical Engineering Department of BRAWIJAYA University. And every year, we are consistently appears the competition in the national level. And the last past few years, we have international level competition. So basically, iChallenge has developed the largest platform for the student around Indonesia and of course of the world. So as its core of iChallenge is place that we connect with the academic world and industrial world. So the student is not only learn about the technically, but also the student get the really many skill that they can be able to implementation in their life. So this competition is a platform for students to grow and develop themselves to be the better one in the competition. And of course, in this year's 2026, especially, we bring the essence of our challenge to the next level. We give the platform to the student not only for the competition, but also we give them the platform to be the best platform them to grow to be the better one, and especially to be the championship on the future.
Okay, so uh, iTunes is being held since 2014.
Yes.
Okay, so uh, I think from as far as I know, I think iTunes in every year has a difference, focusing on for more what is it, primary goals, something like that, from every year with the different teams. So I think for maybe we can move to the next question. So the next question is what primary goals or objective does iChallenge 2026 aim to achieve for both participants and the wider academic community?
Yes, Ardi, like you said before, we have so much purpose that we want to achieve in this event, especially iChallenge 2026. The main goals of iChallenge 2026 is to create the multidimensional platform for students around Indonesia, of course, around the world. So the first purpose is to improving student analytical and innovative abilities when dealing with the complex problem in industry. The second, giving students to see the real professional world by collaborating with industry. And of course, they finally can see what is the real challenges in the field. And the third, we have supporting students to develop their character to be the change maker. And also the last one, we want to strengthening academic connection across universities and of course countries to encourage collaboration and get a fresh new ideas. So basically, the purpose of the iChallenge 2026 is not just for the competition, but also to give them how they can be able to grow and also how they can be able to ready for the challenges on the future.
Okay, that's an interesting answer for me. Okay, so actually, I want to know more deeper about this year. I challenge carries a specific grant themes. Maybe can you explain the deeper meaning behind this theme?
Okay. Like I said in the second question, every year I challenge comes to you with a different purpose, with a different theme, and of course, in this year we want focusing on the environmental compartment, one of the chemical engineering compartment. So in this edition, we bring them about optimization of green process through circular resources toward regenerative future. So why we choose this them is not only because we want to follow the global trends, but because Indonesia right now currently moving towards to net zero emission, global industrialization, and of course implementation of circular economy. So we want to give the message to the student from this them because we want to the student knowing about how we can be able to um, make something impact with to environmental especially there is something word or part of the word we want to highlight from this grandem is first about circular resources. We want to get more important about of utilizing resources, of utilizing of waste, also reusing materials, and of course, designing biomass based products. And also, we have the words green process. We're focusing on the processing that are environmentally efficient and of course use technology clean technologies. So we can the main of this them is about students are not complete as the competition but also they can be able to give something much solving the problem in this era, I think.
Okay, so uh, I can make a highlight from Masasa said that this year the chance brings more focusing on environmental, some things like growing process optimization and circular resources, and more on the regenerative future. Okay. Okay, so we can move to the next questions maybe. So the next question, are there particular messages or philosophical ideas embedded in the team that you really want to the audience or participant to grasp?
Yes, behind technical concept, there are several philosophical we want to highlight, bring on this them. So first, sustainability is more than responsibility. The young generation, especially the young people, not only design technically efficient processes, but also think about the long-term consequence for the planet and, of course, for the society itself. Second, the transition toward green industry is not just about advanced technology, but also about how we can to tag the relationship between the humans and nature. So, and the third is the philosophical of regenerative future and fight us to build industrial system that do not just survive but actively create a healthier, a more productive, and any exact activity that we should do.
Okay, so the next question is still talk about the grant team. So, as far as I know, that the grant team is still talking about the regenerative future. So it is related. Of course, it is related to more something about sustainable innovation. So I want to know about Masasa perspective too. That in this generation, that sustainable innovation is often misunderstood as something big or corporate. So I want to know that in your perspective, what are small meaningful contributions students can bring or can start with?
Okay. Sustainability innovation often see as the something expensive, something that complicated, or we need to more and complex facilities that we can use. But as a student, especially, we can take many small steps to implementation about sustainable. First, as a younger duration, we should have more get um, join in any communities sustainable or join environment communities so for that you can be able to learn and grow and more understanding about sustainable. And the second, you can also conducting small research projects about sustainable or environment. It's look like a small step, but if you can do more, if you can learn about that small step, it can also the bigger innovation for the future. I think there's no something difficult to you to implementation about the sustainable. As a young generation, we have so much platform that we can use to create more about sustainable. So just back to ourselves, how we can be able to understanding, how we can be able to take the action in the society. I think that.
Okay, I think that I have the same perspective too. That I think that students have really many platforms to make a really sustainable innovation. That it has not to be a really big innovation. It has not to be a really impactful innovation. I think that a really small it can be more or it can be really impact to the world. And yeah, I think it has not to be really big. So uh the next question is still related to the grant team actually. So I just want to know about how do you think the current global challenges such as climate issues, digital transformation, and resource scarcity, and shape student innovations today.
Yes, global challenges such as climate change, energy crisis, water scarcity, digital disruption, recovery have changed now with process engineering. Students today are encouraged to think more adaptively, creatively, and more critically about the solution and about the efficiency. For example, energy shortage encourage research and thermodynamic organization. Climate change inspires students on carbon dioxide emission, carbon capture technologies, or renewable energy. Digital transformation introduced students to big data, IoT, and AI based process control. So global challengers is not our obstacle or challenges for us, but they are catalysts that accelerate students to innovation because from the problem, as the young generation, we must be able to take the action to create innovation to be the better future of our world, especially, I think.
Okay. Thank you, Masasa, for your perspective and your answer. Actually, we have been talk about the grant team or iChallenge like really in a long time. I'm sorry. So the next question is I just want to know about Masasa as project officer of iChallenge 2026 about students who might feel really intimidated by the competition of iChallenge 2026. What would you say to help them see iChallenge not just as a contest but as a learning journey?
Yes. Before I answer this question, I want to tell my story back then. While I was the new student in the chemical engineering, I see that there is a lot many challenges that I face that can make me sometimes not confident about myself. So I can feel like there's nobody for myself can to explore. So for that, I cannot to join any competition because I feel like really insecure about my brain, about my motivation. After that, if I was thinking a lot about that, if I cannot to develop myself more, I think I will lose and losing anything in my life. So after that, I changed my mindset about in this life we must be able to learn a lot about any experiences that you have. Obstacle, challenges, and failure is something like ordinary thing, ordinary activity. What I say, ordinary thing that every person should visit. So for you guys, for all around the world, especially Indonesia student, just believe in yourself. The competition is not scary. The competition is the platform for you to grow more to be the better one. And especially in the iChallenge 2026, we provide you paper coaching, which mean we give you a mentors that you can be able to build your idea, build your innovation to be the great innovation, to be the great prototype that you have, because we provide you a great person to learn with you. And for that, anything that you have to be the first competition, don't worry, because from iChallenge, we really create you to be the better one. Become the iChallenge as the platform to you to grow. Like I said in the first, to be the better one, to be the past version of you from the iChallenge.
Okay, so that is really motivated maybe for the student who watch it for the first episode of iPodcast 2026. So the next question is a real closing questions. So the question is there any final call to action you like to share for students or institution or communities who want to support or be part of iChallenge 2026?
Yes, the final call to action for all students around the world, especially, of course, in Indonesia too. I think iChallenge is the best platform to you to use your ideas, to express your ideas and innovation to just make a something impact long-term positive impact for the future. For that, don't worry about the obstacle, don't worry about the challenge that you face later. Just believe in yourself, just believe in your teams. Everything obstacle will be easy if you can be able to see that process to be the best learn experiences. We believe that through iChallenge 2026 we can build a productive, relevant, and impactful innovation ecosystem for the future. So don't worry, just join iChallenge 2026 because iChallenge 2026 comes to you to build you to be the best feature on this world.
Okay, thank you for your answer, Masasa. And as I said before, that question is our closing question. And thank you for joining us on this very first episode of iPodcast 2026. We hope that today's conversation gave you new insights, for me too, into the spirit, purpose, and vision behind this year event. And I think that iTunes has always been more than just a competition. It's a platform for ideas and innovation and collaborations. And through this podcast, we'll continue bringing you closer to the stories and inspiration and innovations that define it. So maybe we can say the tagline as a closing.
Of course,
Okay,
let's go
iPodcast 2026, your getaway to
to
innovation.
innovation.
Mana kayak gini 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 tolong dong bagian dibilangin Rahma karena coba-coba karena tadi 2 mingguan kan terus besoknya ditanya kamu apa kayak gitu